What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this Rick and Morty episode review. So we haven't got some sort of crazy, sort of iconic thing like Pickle Rick or Szechuan sauce this episode. What is up, YouTube? Welcome to this Rick and Morty episode review. So if you're new to the channel, a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode is super appreciated. And you can check out my latest Game of Thrones video on my channel as well. But this is Rick and Morty, and this, in my opinion, was a wildly different episode this time. It was a lot different than the previous ones we've had. It feels like the previous episodes, the one with Szechuan sauce, we've had the one with the Mad Max, and we've also had a Guardians of the Galaxy / Avengers mashup, send-up. So, and also, who can forget Selenia, the Pickle Rick episode? And all of these felt very iconic in my opinion, and I mean that in the fact that they are instantly quotable, they are instantly recognisable. So first of all, in the first episode when that dropped, we had the Mulan Szechuan sauce, which I still can't get over the fact that everyone is losing their mind in America over that, because Szechuan sauce is easily available over here. But I did enjoy the Rooster Teeth podcast and the creators as well of the show enjoying that sauce with Chicken McNuggets. But what I mean here is the fact that this was very much an introspective episode. It was more about the characterization of the characters as opposed to actually trying to create something like Pickle Rick or Jaguar or something like that, which is instantly recognizable and can be slapped on merchandise. Which I don't feel that's what they're doing, but I mean it's not something which could be done like that, and it's more of a character development episode, which, to be honest, is really needed considering everything that has happened so far and the fast-paced nature of this show. And it's quite telling that the characterization in this episode is a lot better than the episode where they actually went and had proper counselling with Susan Sarandon's character, Wong. So this is a long-awaited Jerry and Rick episode. I absolutely love Jerry. I think Jerry's a great character. He's been criminally underused in this season so far, but it does make sense, to be honest, because Summer and Morty are using these adventures with Rick to really cover their whole thing, to disguise and put aside the divorce that their parents are going through at the moment. And I really did like the intro. The intro of this episode felt incredibly depressing, to be honest, with we look inside this kind of single dude condo place, which is similar to me. It's like a modern day, kind of a modern depressing version of the Kirk Van Houten episode of The Simpsons, where he's like, I sleep in a race car bed and things like that, where he lives in this terrible singles apocalypse, which is really cool. I really like that kind of... Maybe it's just me reading too much into it, to be honest. But it was a fantastic way of doing things and introducing Jerry and seeing just how awful he is and how kind of depressing he is, and the fact that he's so pathetic. He was simply willing to just go to an execution and not wear trousers, which was so funny when Rick was like, what are you doing? This is how you would handle an execution? So he's just sitting there waiting for it to happen, to be honest. That's how pathetic and sad he is, which is very cool in the way they bring it back. And Rick is like, that's your reasoning. That's why you suck, is the way that everyone seems to see Jerry as some kind of pathetic whelp, and that's why he always survives. And that's why when the aliens came to Earth and took it over, he fell upwards because he was so pathetic, whereas other people would sort of resist everything that was going on. Now, I really did like the way they gave Jerry this adventure. It was initially set up as a paradise, and it did seem like some kind of Westworld place where repercussions of what you do has no consequence. So everything you do has no consequence and there are no repercussions. But here, obviously, once that inhibitor field, that kind of resurrection thing is brought back, or is lost, well, you're absolutely screwed, which gives us one of the darkest comedy moments in the show so far, where initially, in the first episode to really hammer home that you can come back from the dead, well, you saw the two kids fighting and shoot each other, and then one came back. But once the field was brought down, well, you also actually had that person shoot their brother or sister or friend again, and then they don't come back. So that is incredibly, incredibly depressing there, of course. So it was a very, very good episode, and it's nice to see when Rick kind of is outside and he's kind of like really nullified there, we see Jerry in his true form, and he's like, you bitch, and stuff like that. It was really cool to see that as well. I felt like the whole villain who was trying to get at Rick really wasn't that good, but it served its purpose here, and it's not really a problem, to be honest, that it didn't really have much depth to it. But one of the highlights was that part where all three of their souls kind of like get together and they live like an eternity together in each other's minds and they merge. So that was really, really cool, and a really nice animation and artwork there. And all of this space adventure is set off as well by what's going on at home, and it has Morty's mother's kind of inability to deal with Summer's craziness and her puberty that is going on, where we've seen a complete badass version of Summer throughout. She seems to not really give a shit until her boyfriend dumps her and goes on a camping trip with a girl with big boobs. And it just goes to show that she is really incredibly fragile and insecure, and the only reason she's a badass is because she is actually really hurting from this divorce and wants to supplement it with other things and put it aside. Now, I'm not sure which kind of story was better, to be honest. I really did enjoy both equally, which I don't really enjoy. Always the B story in shows I don't really enjoy as much, but this one on Earth was fantastic. I love the fact that the customer service for the Morpher Ray thing was like, just tricks them into letting her go, letting themselves go, and then we see them at the end taken by the birds, which was so funny. And they're free from this customer service hell, which is, well, you know, not really something you want to live inside this kind of box thing. But this was a great, great, great part here, and I'm not sure what the references in this episode were. Quite a lot. I mean, we've got the Westworld sort of thing at the start, and then over on Earth we have like Honey, I Shrunk My Kids, Blew Up My Kids going on, and then we've also got some sort of Attack on Titan thing at the end as Summer is going towards the camp, which I have to say she looks more like that, I think, than anything else, more like Attack on Titan, to be honest. But it was a really, really good episode. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please do drop a like, please do subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.